have you tried sugar beets? I've had some questions on sugar beets, how to do them, how to harvest them, and there's a couple of different ways. So let's take a look at that real quick. Okay, the first step is you got to check your ground level. Here's a harvested field of sugar beets. And what I got to do is go look at my soil composition, and it needs plowing. I have plowing turned on. It also needs lime. So I'm going to add lime and plow this. We'll be right back. By the way, just in case you're new, to add lime, you go here to fertilizer spreaders and look for one with the lime symbol. This is just fertilizer. That one does both. So you need something that has the lime symbol, that little triangle to the right there, so you can spread lime out. So I'm going to put lime down. Then you got to have a plow. Okay, the plows are right here under soil cultivation, just to the left of cultivators, if you have plowing turned on. And you get one that's horsepower appropriate for your tractor. And this is the best kind. I have another video on different types of plowing and soil prep. But if you use a plow, you don't have to do weeds. Now, if you have plowing turned off, you could use a cultivator. Okay, one of these. But either way, you got to get the field prepped, okay, either cultivated or plowed based on what your settings are. Okay, we're back. We have our field. We put lime out and we plowed it. Now, if you look at our soil conditions, it does not need plowing and it does not need lime. You can see those on the left over there. So what we're going to do is you need a planter, okay, to plant sugar beets. So you go here under seeding, right to the right of seeders or planters. Any of these will work. Some fertilize and seed, and this is the one we're going to use right here. Puts seeds down, and it uses liquid fertilizer, which is pretty cool. But you need a lot of horsepower for this one. But that's what we have right here. So we're going to come out here and get this guy going, and we're going to plant sugar beets in this little field. Okay, we've planted our sugar beets, and we've gone to the next day. You can see my little sprouts here. If I go to soil composition now, remember we put lime down, we plowed, and now we got to fertilize it. Okay, so we're going to go over here and get our fertilizer going. Now, a couple of things. If you didn't plow, if you had plowing turned off and you used a cultivator, you would either need to spray it with herbicide then, or weed it then, or weed it today using a hoe. So you could use a weeder right after you seed it, same day, or spray herbicide right after you seed it, same day, or use a hoe today because it's a row crop. If you go to the next day, you're going to need to use a hoe to pull your weeds out. Or you could plow like we did, and then you don't have an issue with weeds at all. So remember, my planter put down one layer of fertilizer already, so now you can see this is putting down the second layer of fertilizer. So we're going to go on now, and I'll show you there's a couple of different ways to harvest this stuff. The cheap way and the more expensive way. Let's go take a look. Okay, as a note, by the way, I just want to show you the planting calendar real quick. So you're going to plant sugar beets in March or April, and you're going to harvest them in October or November. Plant them in March and April, harvest them in October, November. Okay, we're at the shop. Let me show you the cheapest way we're going to harvest these. Is you go to packs under sugar beets, and you see this thing here. This harvester digs the sugar beets out of the ground. But as a note, you have to use a halum topper. Okay, the halum topper is this thing, a defoliator. So this is the cheapest solution, but we're going to need both of these pieces of gear. I'm going to lease these, and there you go. That's what they look like. Now let's take a look again. I just want to show you something. You need 215 horsepower for this one, and 280 horsepower for that one. So it is somewhat horsepower intensive. Okay, we're at our field with our halum topper here. Our beets are ready to harvest. So we're going to get this guy started. So he's going to be defoliating our beets. And you have to do this before you can harvest them using this type of gear. There's another solution I'm going to show you in just a minute. Let me just show you the gear one more time. So right now we're using the Amity 3750 defoliator. And then next we'll use the Amity 2720 harvester scrub. Okay, this one costs $97,000. The other one's $175,500. So there you go. He's taking the top off, and we'll get this done. By the way, when you look at the soil condition here, or the growth stage, the part in red still needs to be, it says remove foliage. And then, of course, the orange part is ready to harvest. When you first go to this, the whole thing is red, and I have used the halum topper on some of it, and that's why some of it's red and some of it's orange, but you'll see all red first. Okay, we've taken off all the foliage off the top of our sugar beets, and this is what we have left. So now the beets are under the ground, so we got to go grab our harvester. This is our Amity 2720, and we're going to get over here and get this guy going. Now the drawback is it doesn't hold very much. It holds only 6.5 cubic meters, which is not very much. So you got to have a trailer on hand like this, and you're going to be watching this guy. And I've tried to go alongside it once it's out, and it's really frustrating, especially when it turns and stuff. So you can see in just a second or two, it's going to be full, and we have to go empty it. Okay, it went that little bit of distance and now it's full. So you have to, your attention has to be on this thing to use this. It's a little bit aggravating. It's not like you can just have the AI do it and run work on something else. So you're going to be working on this. Okay, now once it's full, you have to move or it's not going to start again. Okay, I got the AI doing it, but as soon as I move, then he'll start back up and I'm ready to collect another one. All right, let me show you the better way to do it, but it's more expensive. It's a little bit easier. I do like the wide swath of this one. It's bigger, but let me show you the next one. Okay, we use these two to start with, the defoliator or the halum topper, and then this little deal, the scrub that digs them out of the ground. You can use these, and you do not need, notice it doesn't mention that it needs a defoliator. Now this one's ready to go, and that includes the header. However, this one only has 18.5 meters. Okay, it only holds that. And this one is 45 meters, and this one is 43 cubic meters. And I like this one the better, and of course it's the most expensive because it has the widest header at 4 meters. So we're going to get this one, and there you go. We're going to see how this thing works out. Okay, we're here with our big Ropa Tiger 6 beet harvester. Let's get this guy going. It's going to unfold. It's going to put the header down. Remember, I had to buy the header separately on this one, so just pay attention to what it tells you on the menu. But this one does hold 43 cubic meters instead of 6.5, so it's going to run a little bit before we have to empty it, which is kind of cool. All right, it's filled up the hopper there at 43 cubic meters, and there you go. It's full. You can see kind of how much it got out of the field. There you go. There's an aerial shot of what's what there. And notice you don't have to remove the foliage. It says you do, but if you're using this big harvester, the Ropa, you do not have to remove the foliage first. So that is an advantage. So it's just one step, and it's a lot, longer in between emptying it because it holds 43 instead of 6.5 cubic meters. So there you go. Hey, next up, I'm going to show you how much money we get for this. All right, we finished harvesting our field there. Look at that. Now, let's look at the money for a second. So what we ended up with was just over 46,000 liters per acre. 46,000 liters per acre. It was actually 46,086. Okay, if you look at the optimum time to harvest that, okay, you got this little graph here, November, December. If we were to turn that in November, December and sell it, we would get $15,991 an acre, about almost $16,000 an acre, which isn't bad. That's not too bad. So that's it. That's how you do beets, and that's what you're going to get. It's a pretty profitable crop, but the equipment is expensive. But share this with your farming buddies. They might want to know too. I'm Farmer Teacher. I'll see you on the next go-round. Bye-bye.